It's Wednesday, the 10th of December 2025. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 big stories to get through in 5 minutes. Let's get cracking with story number 1. The Reserve Bank does not expect any more interest rate cuts in the foreseeable future and has warned that inflation risks are rising. The comments came after the central bank left the official cash rate on hold at 3.6% yesterday.
The bank said underlying inflation had risen recently, and while some of the increase was driven by temporary factors, there's also been a broader lift in prices. Risks have tilted to the upside. The central bank didn't sound quite as worried initially, but then when Michelle Bullock, the governor, held her press conference, she certainly made it clear that we are not going to see any rate cuts in the foreseeable future. According to the Reserve Bank, private demand is being supported by rising household spending and investment. The housing market's pretty good. The economy is being driven more so by the private sector than it had. It was the final Reserve Bank meeting for the year. The bank cut rates in February, May and August. If the rate cycle is over, it will be the narrowest or smallest rate reduction cycle since deregulation of the Australian economy in the 1980s.
Straight after the announcement, Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers was very quick to emphasise that some of the pickup in inflation reflected temporary factors, right?
He also liked the central bank's comments that there were improvements in private sector spending and investing. He said while millions of Australians would have preferred a rate cut, the RBA's decision was not unexpected.
Just very quickly, what about rates? What's the outlook here? Did Michelle Bullock, RBA Governor, give us hints about what's happening?
Well, we know they're not going down, but I'll quote her. The question is it just an extended hold from here, or is it possibility of a rate rise? I couldn't put a probability on those, but I think they're the two things the board will be looking closely at. Important data point now is the February inflation figure.
Okay, story number 2. The parliamentary expenses scandal is growing and it's engulfing more parliamentarians from both sides of politics.
The latest revelation, Communications Minister, former Sports Minister Annika Wells left a Comcar limousine waiting for nearly 10 hours while she attended the 2022 NRL and NRLW Grand Finals. That would have cost the taxpayer more than $1,200, according to the Sydney Morning Herald. She also charged taxpayers nearly $1,000 for a Comcar to wait for her while she was at the Australian Open Tennis. Expenses data reveals Trade Minister Don Farrell used his entitlements to fly his family around the country. The Australian Financial Review reported Attorney General Michelle Rowland billed taxpayers more than $20,000 for her family to travel to Western Australia. The debate really has come down to the letter of the law versus community expectations. And, all this news is not passing the pub test.
No. Story number 3, global online forum Reddit is preparing to mount a legal challenge to the Australian government's world-first social media ban for under 16-year-olds.
It comes as the ban commences today and is a direct threat by a major tech company to one of the PM's headline policies. The tech platform has enlisted a top barrister and local law firm to challenge the legislation, according to the Fin Review. Any challenge is expected to be through the High Court and is likely to focus on teenagers' implied right of freedom of political communication. Now, there has been another High Court challenge fronted by two 15-year-olds based on that same argument. Currently, 10 social media platforms included in the new law: Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitch, Kick, X, YouTube, Reddit. Good luck to all you parents out there today.
It's going to be a very big day for 14-year-olds on LinkedIn, Sean. The only platform that's still allowed. Anyway, story number 4, a Game of Thrones style fight is on for Warner Brothers Discovery, with media giant Paramount Skydance bidding $108 billion for the group just 2 days after Netflix lobbed a $72 billion bid, and US President Donald Trump has inferred that he will be kingmaker.
So different prices, but Netflix wants the studio and back catalogues, including, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, plans to spin off cable channels such as CNN and Discovery. Paramount wants a lot. Which offer provides better outcome for shareholders? Very much up to interpretation. What's interesting, Netflix made the bid. Trump then came out and said he's worried about competition issues. Then Paramount makes its bid. Paramount, of course, owns Network 10 here, CBS in the US. It's backed by a Trump ally, Larry Ellison. Also involved, Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and a Gulf Nation sovereign wealth fund. You can kind of see where it's going.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Last one, story number 5. Donald Trump is not just putting US businesses first, he's also favouring US tourists, introducing a $150 charge per person for foreigners, including Australians, visiting popular US national parks like the Grand Canyon, Yosemite, and Yellowstone.
That's on top of the existing entrance fees. Trump signed an executive order and said national parks will be about America first. That extra $100, let's say it's 150 Aussie non-resident fee, applies to 11 of the most popular parks, take effect from January 1. Family of 4 going to the Grand Canyon. After airfares and car hire, ESTA charges, another $650 just to see nature.
Yeah, savage. All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It is Wednesday, the 10th of December, 2025. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed, wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.